Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Your host, V&M General Manager Kevin Jean and Iowa Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff will keep you up to date on what's happening on the best lakes in the Arklatex region, with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend, two guys who have fished at a high level with Pro-Am experience with ABA, BFLs, Toyota Series, and BASS Opens. Anglers with a wealth of knowledge and willing to share. So pull up a chair, kick back, and see why so many anglers watch Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Good morning and welcome to Tackle Talk Live right here on the shores of Sibley Lake. And by the way, they're out there catching them right now. Kevin, them white perch guys are having a good time. Good calm day. Be out on the main lake. Them guys are catching some white perch, but we're all about the black bass here on Hook Tackle Talk Live, and I'm Ranger Diver Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with General Manager of V&M Baits, Kevin Jean. Running the board, producing this show is the guru of social media, Mr. James Stanfield. Today's show, we have an Alexandria team, one of the team members of Ross Bryant and Will Karstens. They were the guys that came in with Bass Champs and just absolutely had a great day, over 29 pounds. And then we're going to have Dakota Ebare on with us, who finished third over at Sam Rayburn in the Toyota Series. We're going to have Dakota on, and we've had him on before.
Dakota had a 29-pound bag on day 2 of the Toyota Series.
Exactly.
So this 29-pound bag show.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's a good way to title this, James, 29-pound bag show. And so anyway, before we jump on the front deck and get with again, we'll have the first guest is going to be Ross Bryant. We'll have him on first, and then we'll get Dakota a little bit later on. But before we do that, we got some sponsors we got to recognize real quick, because without you guys, we don't have a program. We appreciate each and every one of you. Stay tuned for more Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in your hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your healthcare needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6, just south of Toledo Town, or you can call 318-508-5323. For all your boating needs, check out Shreveport's newest marine dealer, The Boat Shop. Raymond Kidd and his great staff will take care of all your engine repair needs or anything else that needs fixing. A certified Yamaha Mercury dealer, they carry two of the best fishing boats on the market, from Sea Arc and Camus. The Boat Shop is never short on trade-ins, as they're always willing and able to make you the best deal possible. Looking for great boat accessories? They're a full support Garment and Minn Kota dealer. So the next time you're in the market for a new or used boat, or maybe you just need to service the boat you have, let the Boat Shop fix you up. To learn more, call 318-402-0399 or go to ShreveportBoatShop.com. The next time you're on I-49 just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana, stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors. A store within a store, Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's Four-Way. Whether you need gas, food, or drinks, they have it. While you're there, check out Cypress Knee Outdoors and pick up whatever hunting or fishing tackle you need. Top name brands like Strike King, Santone, Spro, or the #1 soft plastics made, V&M. On the hunting side, they carry guns from Mossberg, Winchester, and Remington. Plus, they've got a great supply of ammunition. Let John Abram and his staff show you everything Cypress Knee has to offer. Located just 1 mile east of 127 on I-49, or call 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, and again, a show dedicated to making you a better angler, especially on Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn. That's what we're all about right here. Real quick, we got some sponsors: Toledo Health, The Boat Shop, 3J's Four-Way, home of Cypress Knee Outdoors, for all your bait and tackle needs right there. If you hit it for Cane River, hey, stop in and see John Abraham down there at Cypress Knee. He'll have exactly what you need to go catch those big ones on Cane River. So looking forward to they got a big event, club tournament this weekend here.
Yeah. Die Hard Bass Club out in Natchitoches here.
You guys have a good trip. And
Steve, they're going to catch them.
Cane River is probably the best kept secret in Louisiana.
Right, well, let's not talk about that anymore.
We won't talk about it no more. I'm sure as our next guest probably even knows that himself, Ross Bryant, part of Bryant and Karsten's winning team and the Bass Champs Toledo Bend event. And Ross, first of all, I'm sure you fish Cane River.
Yeah, well, we fished Cane River a pretty good bit, so hopefully they quit catching that good.
Yeah, let's not talk about Cane River anymore. We're going straight to Toledo Bend. So anyway, Ross, man, 29.56 on a we'll say a interesting day on Toledo Bend, I'm sure, with the way the wind blew, the cold coming in.
Yeah.
Man, before we get into the tournament, let's talk a little bit about practice here. And I know Bass Champs is, of course, off limits the week of. Did you guys get a chance to go over and practice any weeks leading up to the event?
And we got 1 day with the Brandon Belt canceled that Friday, and we went over there for a little bit and I guess got out there in that snow like a bunch of dummies. But we put in a few hours that day, and that's about all we had, man.
Did that pay off, actually making that trip?
Yeah, it did and it didn't. I mean, it kind of it cut out a lot of dead water for us, that we were actually going to try to run. But with the wind, it kind of helped us really just stick in one area and just kind of fish,
Right, right. So, man, take us through. So, Bass Champs allowed trailering in this event because of the high winds. And we won't jump into where you guys put in at, but you obviously had to put in as close as you could, I'm sure, to where you was wanting to fish. Started out the morning. Kind of take us through the morning here. Kind of take us through the day. So, how able to trailer was you close? And I heard it was pretty calm that morning. I was supposed to be fishing. I wasn't able to fish, but I heard it was pretty calm that morning. So you could have got out on the main lake, correct?
Yes, and we took advantage of that. We started out there close to the main lake and in a channel swing that we always catch them in pre-spawn, and that 1 hour or a couple hours in practice helped us kind of figure out that they were still there, and we pulled up and caught 3 good ones real quick, and then the wind started blowing a lot earlier than we thought it was going to be. And it got real fast.
Well, on that spot, how deep of water are we talking?
About 18 to 22 foot.
Wow.
Football jig or Carolina rig?
Football jig.
Gotcha.
3/4 ounce Brown's custom jig. So.
Yeah.
So is this a spot, Ross, where they just have you caught them here before? I mean, is it something you have history with?
Yeah, we have caught them 3 years in a row there, actually.
Wow.
And they've just, I don't know what it is, and they might be 100 yards this way or 100 yards that way, but it's it just got some timber in the right place, I guess, and then it's got a couple hard spots on the edge of it, and they just get there.
Now you said you caught 3. I know y'all's big fish was 8 something. What 3 fish did y'all have? Did y'all catch off that spot that morning?
We caught our 2 biggest and 4.5 to 5 in there.
Okay, so you got 3 for how much?
We had probably 868, and I don't know what the other one was, probably 6. So
15.
We had 18 to 19 pounds on 3.
You're around 19 pounds on 3 right here.
Pushing 20.
So feeling good after you get these 3. Wind gets up, kicks up. What's the thought process after that?
And we just went fishing. We kind of did what we did over there at Rayburn. We just picked up a trap and just started getting in shallow creeks, and I guess about halfway back to, and we would fish, I say probably a quarter of the way back in shallow creeks, and we'd get in there and we actually found a little stretch that had a little bit of a little sparse coontail, and we hit the right hard spot, and man, we probably caught 7 to 10 fish in there, and they were all they started out a little bit smaller, but they got a little bit bigger and bigger. And every time we come back through it, we catch 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
What was the water temp in that area where the fish were really active?
It was very cold.
Really? Yeah.
It never got. Now that was on a Garmin. They say it runs a little bit colder than a hummingbird and stuff, but I wouldn't think it got above 53 that day.
Okay, I was thinking I was over there Thursday and it was 51 in the pocket I was in, so
yeah,
I was figuring it was 51, 52 somewhere in there. So
I mean, the 2 y'all picked up off the trap had to be 2 good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, you had
they
19
were.
with 3. You had to have 2 more 5-pounders.
Yeah, and we pulled in there and we just started fishing and when we caught 2 or 3 real quick and but they were about 2 3/4, 3 pounds, and then we knew we had a if we could cull those 2 out with maybe some 4+, we'd be, because you never know with them guys over there.
Oh yeah,
yeah, no,
you're never safe,
no, you never feel comfortable coming in. I don't care what you got. The other thing, your technique with the trap, it's a chunk and wind bait. We all know that. But I'm big with a yo-yo. I like to pump it. Do you do what? Is there something different y'all were doing with it that maybe triggered those bigger fish?
And I'll tell you the truth. I've never been a big rattle trap thrower until the last couple of years that we've been fishing right over in Toledo, and I kind of feather it. I kind of, when it hits the bottom or hits a piece of grass, I'll just kind of yo-yo like you said.
Yeah.
It just depends on now. The 2 better fish that we caught on the rattle trap, they were wanting it burning. And I don't know when we got them fired up, they were just wanting it. They were wanting it burned. I mean, it just, I don't know what the deal was, but.
So you were in an area then, you caught a few fish, smaller ones in that same area, and then all of a sudden you caught the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. You got them turned on is what happened. Huh.
And I don't know if the later it got, the better, I mean.
Yeah.
We made a critical call I missed one about 1:30, and I knew it was a good fish, and then we let it rest for about, I don't know, probably 30 minutes, and we came back in there about 2:10, and we probably made 20 casts on that one spot.
Mm-hmm.
Are we? We're not going to jump into exact location spots here, but are you north or south of Pendleton Bridge?
South.
South of Pendleton, okay.
And based off your experience with the guys that weighed in, I mean, were the winning? Do you know if the majority of the winning weights came from down south, or did they come from up north?
Well, I know first and second did.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I know we saw a couple guys that we know that did pretty well, but we didn't see a ton of boats. To be true.
Yeah.
And I think that all boiled down to how the wind was blowing. You didn't run around.
There wasn't much run around. But, honestly, Ross, I mean, that probably, probably helped you looking back at it. I mean, obviously it helped you. You won the event. But I'm just saying, I mean, you would not have probably, stuck the trap in your hand, and especially when you had 3 off a deep spot right off the bat, So.
It made you guys settle in, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it when you catch 3 like that, man, it just
it's easy to settle in when you catch them fish like that.
Yeah. I mean, we knew we had to just go grind and get a limit with them, and then we just kind of ran upon just some solid fish,
Yeah.
So
it definitely helped.
So this was the second Bass Champs. Did you guys fish the first Bass Champs on Rayburn?
Yeah, we did.
How'd you do there?
We did not do good.
Oh,
we had 1080.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Came in 80th place. So,
I just wondering how y'all was setting points wise after the second event.
We're sitting in 21st, I think.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with
not
that.
too bad.
Yeah.
No, not bad at all.
You're in good shape.
No, we'll take it after the first start. I mean, we were kind of down after that one, but
well,
we
especially
had a good year last year. So
yeah, especially 182 teams I'm seeing was in this event, and I guess those numbers are a little bit down for Bass Champs, especially for Toledo.
Well, that was a brutal day.
It was a brutal day.
Yeah,
make no bones about that.
But that's the best weight. Like I was talking to Kevin, I mean, that's some of the best weight I've seen at Toledo. I think it's coming.
Yes.
I mean, it took 17 pounds to get a check in.
Yeah.
And that was in what place, Steve?
Top 11 bags were over 20 pounds.
Yeah,
1746 is what it took to get a check. That was 24th place.
24th place, 17 pounds. That's
Yeah.
pretty dang good. And brutal conditions. So at 17 pounds,
Yeah.
when guys can't even move around the lake. So I think Toledo Bend's in a good place. Not a whole lot of stuff in the, not a lot of grass or anything like that. But the fish are there, and the right fish are there.
And one thing it proves to a lot of people don't like the wind. When the wind blows, the fish usually bite, guys. I mean, that's when the best fishing occurs.
Well, Ross, man, congratulations. Tell Will we said congratulations as well. And, man, best luck to you guys the rest of the year.
We do definitely appreciate it, man.
All right. Ross Bryant, a part of the team of Karsten and Bryant. And, again, they had a big bass of 868 for a total bag of 29.56. And then the guy we had on the show last week, or week before, Tater Reynolds and George Jean Jr., they came in second with 25.05. Took home $4,100 in cash. Stuart Villian and Kip Terrio, they are Louisiana guys. They had 767. Big bass, 2340 total for third, Kevin. So, just some big name. Harold Allen was fifth, him and his partner, Matt Loescher.
Well, Easton and Blake Schroeder had big fish with a 996. So
that's
you
true.
had
Yeah.
right at
Yeah.
a 10-pounder,
Yeah.
on your big fish. I mean, Steve, and I remember the last time I remember Toledo, the weights looking like this. It was 4 years ago. 2018, maybe 17. 2018, I remember we had 19 pounds in a Texas team trail. Didn't even get a check.
Yeah.
And that's the last time I recall it taking weights like this to get a check in a tournament of this size.
Also, another big fish came in from Phillip Smith Jr. and Randy Williams. They finished 23rd. They had an 889 for their 17-pound bag they had.
Several eights. I mean, because Winters had an 8 as well.
There's 788, I see.
868.
Yeah.
On down the line, but
So-
this is good for Toledo Bend. This
really
is
is.
good
Oh,
for Toledo, for these weights to show up like this.
Yeah.
To have 11 stringers over 20 pounds. Good for Toledo Bend. I hope I hope this helps tournaments start to come back a little bit.
We all know tournament directors all talk to each other and they all see each other's results. And I think when these results came out, there were probably a lot of tournament directors say, okay, it's probably time for us we need to start going back to Toledo Bend again.
No, I agree.
So,
I'm predicting, I think the next, and correct me here if I'm wrong, Steve, but the next big tournament that I know of over there, March 12th, I want to say, I think there's something March 5th weekend, but I don't
Texas
remember what it
Team
is.
Trail?
No, it's not. It don't come to Toledo.
Really?
Nope, didn't come to Toledo this year. March 12th, the Outlaw Outdoors Team Series is coming here, and then the Despino tournament is the 13th.
13th,
or
that's a
vice
Sunday.
versa.
Yes.
One of them's 12th, one of them's the 13th.
Yeah, 13th is Despino. That's on a Sunday.
Yeah,
So,
man, it's going to be some crazy weights in that tournament.
Yeah,
that is going to hit it perfect. The
Despino's
weights.
liable to have 200 teams.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
And the weights are showing out right now in Toledo Bend. Going to be some good weights. So good for Toledo Bend. Toledo Bend.
Heck yeah, that's a great turnout. And even though the Bass Champs numbers are a little bit down, I bet you after they saw the weights, a lot of people were like, dang, man, we should have won.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, good. Like you said, good for Toledo. Hopefully it'll be back strong again and a lot of people start showing up over there. Okay, we're going to take another quick break. When we return, we will have Dakota Ebare, who Toyota Series Pro, Dakota Ebare. He's going to talk about, he finished third in this event. He's going to kind of wrap this event up for us, tell us what really went down at Sam Rayburn when we return with more Tackle Talk Live.
Are you looking for the finest custom-built rods ever made? Then look no further than Pride Rods. Fishing rods built to last and made in Montgomery, Texas. Constructed by Mr. Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of both spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up and try it for yourself. You'll see why so many anglers are using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency that has been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guy for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. Located at 805 Southeast Stalling Suite 3, Nacogdoches, Texas, or call 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in today. This segment presented by Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Texas, and in Broadus, Texas, and the Lone Star Bass Trail. Kevin, you got any news on Lone Star?
Lone Star, the next open event is coming up on the 27th. I'm sorry. So Lone Star Bass Trail Open number 2, their second open event is February 27th. On Sam Rayburn, so make sure to like and follow their Facebook page for more updates, results, so on and so forth for everything Lone Star Bass Trail, everything going on over there in East Texas, Rayburn. They go do some stuff on Lake Nacogdoches. They're coming to Toledo Bend. Make sure to give those guys a like and a follow. And
we're going to hop up on the front deck real quick. We got Dakota Ebare, pro angler that's fresh off a third place finish at Toyota Series over at Sam Rayburn. And Dakota, of course, you know, we all want to win, but you got to feel good about how things transpired for you at Sam Rayburn.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty disappointed to not get the win there, but you know what? Hats off to the guy that did. Man, he earned it. You know, he really did. I mean, that was an incredible first 2 days, and you know, we got a big curveball thrown into the plan on the last day, and he, you know, he struggled, but he was able to get done just enough to what he needed to do to win. And you know, Derek had a great event as well, and I wouldn't have won anyways, obviously, with Derek finishing a little higher than me. So, you know, it was a good event. It started out, you know, okay, and it got better throughout the event, and I was thankful for that.
Yeah, 29 pounds on day 2 is getting a little better.
Was that that's a big bag of the tournament?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I definitely, you know, I was fortunate enough to win the second half of the event. You know, without a doubt, I had the biggest bag on the last day too. But it just, I just fell too far behind on the first day. And you know, I've heard some guys talk about that stuff, like in those 3-day events. Guys that have won a lot of, you know, coast events, like specifically, like I've heard Todd talk about it quite a bit. Like, you've got to jump out front on that first day of a 3-day event. Like, you can't be middle of the pack and expect to come back and win a lot of times.
Right.
But,
Dakota, did you fish the Brandon Belt as well?
No, I was at the Bass Pro Tour event at Lake D'Arbonne. So, and I wasn't actually even supposed to fish the Toyota Series here. Unfortunately, I didn't have a very good event over there. I didn't make the knockout round, and I was driving back after the second day of my competition, pretty upset with myself for not fishing better. And I called Mark McWaw, and I asked him, I was like, man, are you full? Is there any way I can get in? And he said, yeah, we've got a few spots open. I got an extra co-angler. And so I was able to get in. I drove all night here, got here, slept for a couple hours, woke up, re-rigged tackle, got ready for Rayburn, and went to practice. And just tried to get things going back in the right direction as far as momentum, you know, just coming off kind of a tough event at D'Arbonne.
Well, no, Dakota, you said something about, you know, that you outfished everybody the second half of the event. I guess it kind of goes back to what they say about the Bassmaster Classic. You can't win it on day one, but you can darn sure lose it on day one. Well, looks like Glenn Webb, he won the first half. I mean, just blew it away. And then the final day, he had just enough to hang on. But this is a tournament. He won it early in the first 2 days.
Well,
he did. He won it right from the get-go, man, and he earned it. I mean, that's such an incredible. To back up, I mean, how many times do we see guys catch mid to high 20 bags 2 days in a row here at Rayburn?
Oh,
yeah.
Very, very rare.
It's rare. Yeah.
So let's talk.
rare.
So you fished the Pro Circuit event 2 weeks prior to this Toyota event. How much did the fish change from the Pro Circuit event to this Toyota Series event?
Initially, I want to say tremendously, okay? But then I also want to say that maybe I was just missing the boat a little bit in the Toyota Series. I mean, excuse me, in the Pro Circuit event.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I fished a lot shallower in this event than what I did a lot of the time in the Pro Circuit event. And I don't know if those fish were really up there or not, or maybe I just missed them. You know what I'm saying? In the Pro Circuit event. But I will say that I think the fish have progressed a ton in the last couple of weeks. And that event set up to be kind of a perfect storm. And we got that bad weather on the last day. And if we wouldn't have had that, I don't think I would have even had a chance to catch
Right.
Glenn Webb. I think that he would have absolutely blown out of the water, ran off with the event if we wouldn't have had that bad weather on the last day. And I think that's a product of the conditions for the week prior, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I looked at that, and man, I mean, you've got 5 days in a row of sunshine, warm, afternoons. And, man, it just made those fish really get up there and get active. And that's why the weights were so great. And it turned out to be a phenomenal event.
Well, I just looked back at the Tackle Warehouse tournament results, and you're right. I mean, the weights were way down. I mean, for a guy to catch a 20-pound bag was an accomplishment.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was absolutely tough. And so, boy, what a difference just a couple of weeks makes.
Yeah,
you know?
well, I mean, it did. It warmed up. That the week of the Toyota Series, during that, I mean, it was 70s and sunshine.
Yeah.
Dakota, let's talk baits a little bit in depth here. And look, anytime, I don't know if you're going back to Toledo, on Rayburn, or want to keep anything hush-hush. Anything you don't want to say, just let us know. But I want to kind of, depth. We know they're moving shallow. How shallow are we talking here?
I found more fish. I found more schools of fish on Wednesday than I think I've ever found in one day of practice on this lake ever. And a lot of those fish were in, 8 foot or less. I mean, there was
wow.
Big groups of them in a lot of places. I mean, it seemed like, it got pretty predictable, and I was able to, find a lot of areas where you could, there was, maybe 10 to 20 fish sitting around maybe the base of a stump or a hard spot, a little creek bend or areas. It's just all about those pre-spawn staging areas.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to do nothing but get better. Obviously, a lot of those schools that I found, they were buck bass. They were small fish. I mean, you could catch a ton of them, and it was a lot of fun, and you could catch, 12 to 14 pounds, but a lot of those areas, the females weren't quite there yet.
Dakota, too, watching you on the tackle on other day on MLF when y'all were up there at Darbon, and give me your perspective on this, and maybe it's just me. I've seen more guys throwing A-rigs this year than and it's kind of come. It's always been a player. We always know that, but it just seems like this year it's become more of a player. More guys are winning with it than they have in the past.
The grass is not there. The grass is not as heavy, in my opinion.
That's true.
Yeah, but each year is a little different. That's the cool thing about fishing here in Toledo, man. I mean, no matter how much time you spend in these places, you're going to be, you're going to face different conditions from year to year. So you can't get too complacent on going back and doing the same thing over and over again. And you're right, Kevin. I mean, the grass isn't really here.
Right.
There's a lot of fish that are suspended, and they're out, and they're doing different things than what they would be doing if there was grass.
Right.
Yeah.
So that has been key. The other deal is obviously, the forward-facing technology. It's been around for a while. People are picking up on it. A lot of guys are getting it, but and that's been, I think, allowing guys to be more efficient with an A-rig. But it was interesting to see somebody win here at Rayburn in a multi-day event on an A-rig because that's kind of new.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. No, you're right.
There are guys that I know catch big ones on an A-rig here, but here in Toledo, I think are two different beasts. And I just, for some reason, like them fish set up different a little bit. The bigger fish set up different on Toledo to a certain extent and allow you to catch them with an A-rig, catch them with a jig and spoon, do those type of things. Here at Rayburn, man, I've thrown an A-rig a lot just playing around, and I have not caught a lot of fish over 5 pounds on it.
Well, what you're saying, though, is key in my opinion, because you're able to now, with this forward-facing sonar technology, you're able to, you can throw an A-rig around a brush pile and over the top of a brush pile. And I know when I was over there for the Brandon Belt, the biggest fish we caught, which we didn't have a lot of big weight, but the biggest fish we caught in practice was an A-rig around brush piles. And this forward-facing sonar is allowing you to throw this A-rig right over the top of these brush piles, whereas we could have never done this before.
Right.
It is. It's allowing you to do some new things with that bait, but I think it's tough, though. Like, I'm not one of these guys, man, that's like really like, I don't know how to say this, but like, man, a lot of guys, I see it. I travel all over the country. I see guys waste away events every week looking at forward-facing sonar.
Agreed.
Yeah. No.
It is not.
Yeah.
It's become an addiction.
It's just like bed fishing.
Yes.
And there's guys that can do it and they're good at it. And there's guys that waste away events and waste a lot of entry money doing it.
Yeah, I actually talked to Patrick Walters a couple of weeks ago and visiting with him, at Toledo, at Lake Fork last year. Boy, he just freaking ripped them with the forward. And he told us the same exact thing you just said. He said, you got to be careful with it because it will hurt you in a tournament. You get so consumed with it, you forget to apply certain rules to bass fishing that go with bass fishing. You tend to overlook them and forget about them.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like, that it's good for some people and it's fun. It's cool to have in your boat. It's a great learning tool.
Yes.
It has taught me so much about bass fishing, but you have got to keep it in perspective.
Correct. No, I agree with you 100%.
No pun intended there. Like, it is it's a cool tool, but man, like, I watch guys waste away their time. Like, and they might be even catching fish, right?
Right.
Like, they might be out there, in the middle of the lake here at Rayburn, just chasing suspended fish and doing that but they're catching, 12 pounds over and over and over again. They get back to the event like, dude, I had a great day, caught 100 fish, but I'm in 63rd place.
Let's get back into Rayburn here. Day 2, you had 29 pounds. Was that kind of take me through day 2? Is that a spot, a couple different spots? Was it a typical Rayburn that happened in 30 minutes and over with? Kind of take us through that day 2.
It's funny you say that because the few big bags that bigger bags that I have caught here, in the mid 20s, it's always been a 5-cast deal.
Yeah,
quick,
30 minutes, I'm done.
And it happens, and it's like, man, that was awesome. Like you're on top of the world. You're ready. That is not really how this transpired. My first fish was at 9:15, and it was a 9-pounder. My second fish was at about 10:15, and it was a 7-8 pounder. And my third fish was a high 8s probably or whatever, and that was around 11:15. So, man,
wait a minute, I'm still doing math.
We got to figure that out. We need a calculator here.
So you've got 3 that you caught about an hour span apart.
Right.
My goodness gracious. Okay.
And it looked like day 2 was the better day for a lot of people. I mean, looking at the weights.
It was.
The conditions were just good.
I haven't got this out of you yet. I'm going to ask again. Is it a trap? Is it a jerk bait? Do we got something figured out we don't want to talk about?
Man, I'm not going to get too specific on that just because it was kind of a unique deal.
Is it a hard bait?
Well, thank you for being with us, Dakota. We'll check in next time.
Is it a hard bait? Is it a hard bait type bait, or are we throwing a saw plastic?
Man, again, I just don't want to get too specific.
Boy, he ain't giving nothing up on that deal.
Not on that one because, man, I don't mind talking about how it kind of went down and all that stuff as far as that goes. But, man, it was a unique, really special deal to me, the way that it went down.
Yeah.
And it was something that, I knew where this school of fish was. I knew that the potential there, but I also knew how pressured they were.
Yeah.
And it was really, it wasn't that much of it's not really a secret where I was at because a lot of people watched me fish in that area. I'll say that area during the pro circuit event. It was on live. It wasn't a secret. Those fish have been there, but they are the most pressured fish on the lake. they're big, but they're smart, and they've been fooled with so much. I mean, it's like I got back here and, I'm sitting around, I'm practicing, I go to get something to eat, and the guy walks up and he's like, man, your fish are still there from the pro circuit event. I spent all day Tuesday trying to catch them. Couldn't get a bite. And I'm like, well, that's great, man. And it's like, but I mean, it's fine. It's cool. It's no big deal. It's just where we're at. So I'm sitting here thinking, man, like I know where some giants are, but how am I going to get these fish to bite? And I really had to just dig deep and kind of figure something out. And I didn't dial it in on the first day. I kind of got a hint, a clue. And I told Derek, I was like, Derek, man, I think I might have figured out how to get this fish to bite. And he just kind of laughed at me. And that was it. And I did. It just took a lot of time, and it wasn't a fast deal. And so that was kind of like, man, I've never felt like that before.
Right.
In a tournament and on the water. So I catch the 9-pounder. And again, I probably, I was fortunate enough to catch, 40 keepers probably the first day. I mean, it was really a lot of fun. My hands were hurting when I got back to the weigh-in and only had 15.3.
Yeah.
But so I had all these areas. I knew that wasn't really going nowhere. As a matter of fact, I had fish coming to me in those areas, and I felt pretty good about females moving into those areas, and I was catching a lot of those 2 to 3 pounders in. So here I am, and I've got, this first 9-pounder, and I probably caught the second big one maybe 30 minutes later, and 45 minutes later. And then, dude, I just got this feeling. I'm like, man, this could be the magical day that you worked so far, so hard on. We've all spent so much time on Rayburn and Toledo and all these different events. And I just had this feeling. It's like, this is the day that it could all come together, you know? And it was such a cool experience. But man, it was hard to stay focused.
Yeah.
Because you knew what the potential was. You knew you're already having a great day. But man, you knew you gotta smoke them because they're catching them too.
Yeah,
and it was a really cool experience, man. It was awesome.
Well, Dakota, I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit with Glenn Webb. I saw an interview with him, and all the fish he caught was basically off one stretch for all 3 days. The third day, he said the A rig they got off of it, and he had to switch to a Carolina rig to get the bites that he got. What changed probably for him from day 2 to day 3? Was it wind?
Saturday, Steve. That was Saturday. Their day 3 was on Saturday.
That's right. You're right.
It was blowing 40 and dropping in temperature.
So I wonder if the wind blew him off that spot.
I had a few fish short strike my area. I had a couple fish that just, just wrecked my A-rig, and I'd have them for a second, they'd pull off. They weren't really committing to it very good. They bit very good first thing in the morning. I had 16 pounds, in 10 minutes on the third day.
Yeah.
And that's not, I had 14, probably 14 and a half in 10 minutes, of starting to fish on Saturday. And it went from being slick calm. There was a little bit of wind out of the southwest, actually. And then all of a sudden, at probably 8 o'clock, 8:15, man, it went just
roaring.
Just at the snap of a finger. So, and then after that, I caught one 4-pounder that I culled with, and it got me up to what I had, 16 and a half or so. But they really didn't bite good after that. It was a weird deal. And you'd think with that pressure drop in front blowing in, that's the day you pick up an A-ring and just go around and just try not to backlash your reel, but blast them in the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that it's really kind of weird for I don't know what exactly happened over there to him, but you also got to think, dude, he caught 26 pounds, 26 and a half one day, 28 and a half the next day.
Yeah.
Off of one stretch.
You wonder if he just ran out of fish.
You're leaning on him.
Yeah.
Dude, you smoked him. You know what I'm saying? And even if he was finished at 8 o'clock or 8:30 each day, there's only so many big of fish in one area.
Yeah, that's true.
He could probably still see fish, but man, they've already seen his bait. They watched their buddies get jacked with his bait.
Yeah, they've watched that A-rig go by about 10 times.
Yeah. Well, he said he lost two fish, one 5, and he thought another one was 6 that day. They just weren't, like you said, they were not committing to the A-rig like they were the 2 days before. And he said his area just kept reloading every day.
It very well could have been. It could have been the conditions. It could have been the pressure. I just think that them fish probably all saw his bait a few times and probably were pretty reluctant on biting it. But that's, who knows? But still hats off to him for figuring out whatever, just scratching out. can you imagine being? Actually, I can, because I've been in his shoes and I've lost. I mean, I was at. Yeah. I wasn't that far ahead in the Toledo Series Championship a couple years ago, but I was far enough ahead that all I do is catch 5 keepers and I easily win.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, that is so much pressure.
Yeah.
Golly, that's so much pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Especially on somewhere like Rayburn, where you know that the 30-pound bag can happen any day.
But Dakota,
Absolutely.
This was his first event he's ever fished like this.
Yeah.
That's what was amazing. That's what pressure probably didn't even. He just was going fishing. I don't know if pressure even came into his mindset.
I think he's probably better than what he played himself out to be.
Oh, that's probably true.
The guy's obviously a pretty good fisherman. You know, there's no doubt. You don't just
absolutely.
do that. But I mean, yeah, I can see in a sense it's kind of like putting a kid in front of a big deer, you know, and they shoot a giant deer, and you're like, they don't even know what you know.
Yeah, they don't know what they did.
Don't realize what they did. Yeah.
Like 20 years later, whenever they haven't killed another 170, like they realize that was a big deal. And I'm not that might not apply to him, but like I can understand where you're coming from with that. Like it was his first big event, so that's even more impressive, because everybody knows I've been trying my butt off the last 5 years. I haven't won one yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a heck of an accomplishment, without a doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And that's something people don't understand that don't fish the level that we've all fished. How hard it is to win one of these type events. It is. I mean, it's incredible, the anglers that are out there.
It's got to all line up. Stars got to line up.
Yes.
Everything's got to go right. You know, it just and hats off to him. I mean, he handled it. You know, he handled it the right way, and
he did.
You know, he was very fortunate there. But hey, look, Dakota.
Really did.
Bass Pro Tour, man. Rookie season Bass Pro Tour. You started your event off up in Monroe. I know it didn't go how you wanted to go, but man, and I know you've been doing this for a long time now, or several years now, and you know, fishing the opens, fishing the Toyos. Dude, you made it. I mean, Bass Pro Tour.
I tell you, guy thinks a lot of you. Marty Stone thinks a lot of you.
Marty does. We talked to Marty a pretty good bit, but man, you know, congratulations from us here, man. We know you've worked your butt off to get there, and you've made it. How you feeling about Lake Fork this week? I know y'all start. What day one is? What, Saturday?
Yes, sir. Well, man, I really appreciate that. It really means a lot. But yeah, we started at Lake Fork on Saturday. We actually practiced Thursday, Friday, and I'm in Group B this week, so I won't fish until Sunday. But the competition starts on Saturday with Group A in the qualifying round. So I am really excited about that event, man. I was really excited about Dearborn, to be honest with you. I mean, I grew up in South Louisiana. I went up there and I pre-fished a couple days. I've seen all the shallow cover and stuff, and I was like, man, I can catch them here. And I you know, the weather kind of threw us for a loop, but, you know, we all dealt with the same conditions, and other guys adjusted to it better than I did, and that was the result. I figured out a little something in practice, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of let it – I should have stuck to my guns and stayed confident in what I figured out, and that's what I ended up doing at the end of the last day, and I came back quite a bit and almost made the cut. But so with all that being said, we're putting that behind us. We're learning from it, excited about Fork. I think it's going to be a great event. I went over there and I pre-fished 4 days before we went off limits, and I have never been on Fork before that. The lake is super low. You know, it's like 6.5 feet low. So I don't know it when it's up. I've never been there when it wasn't 6.5 feet low. So it took me a couple of days to. I mean, honestly, it was kind of tough. Like really tough for me the first 3 days. Like the first day, I found one little area that I had some giants in, and it was kind of fun. And then I got off of that, and man, for 2.5 days, I didn't find anything. And I was like, man, this I'd catch 1 7-pounder a day, or like, you know, one or two like giants.
Sounds like Fork.
Right.
Yeah.
But the last day I was there, man, like I finally like kind of figured out like a wintertime deal there, and it was so much fun. Like it was probably the funnest day of fishing I've ever had on the water. And I know people are like, well, you know, we all go to Fork and we catch 6-pounders all the time, but like it was crazy that every time I set the hook, it was 4 to 6 pounds. Like I'd never been there to experience that, you know? And so you can't not be excited about that coming up next week. And I know that it'll probably be difficult to a certain extent. I don't know that there'll be a ton of numbers caught, but we're going to see some big fish caught. There's no doubt about it.
Well, I think the lake is down 3 feet, I believe.
6 foot.
Oh, is it 6 foot total? Oh,
yeah,
really?
it's like
I thought it was only 3.
something.
Wow. No. That's a big difference on Fork.
Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah. So like it was, you know, like it was actually kind of easy getting around. I was worried about. I went there mainly to kind of figure out how to get around because of it being low.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, it's kind of easy to get around because all the timber's out of the water for the most part. I would say that 90% of it's out of the water, so you don't ever get stuck on stumps and stuff anymore. You just go in between them. The problem is that you better have a motor cover on because those stumps are hard and they will tear your boat up quick.
Yes, they will.
Well,
But
Dakota,
it concentrates the fish for sure, so it should be a good event.
thank you, man. We appreciate you, dude, and best of luck this week at Lake Fork. Well, I know I watch live all the time, and always glad to see when you get some good airtime. And again, those guys like Marty and they think the world of you, and so they give you some good PR when you get airtime.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks a bunch, and hopefully we'll see y'all next week. I'll be catching a few fish. I'll put a camera in the boat.
All right.
Thanks, Dakota. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Yep. See ya. Bye.
Dakota Ebare, MLF Pro Dakota Ebare. He's headed for Lake Fork, Texas. And so best of luck to him. Real quick, Kevin, just finishing up the Toyota series here. Derek Mundy, we all know Derek. We've had him on the show. Finished second. He's one of the guys over there this time of year especially. He's one of the guys to beat. He had 61-14. And and finishing third was Dakota. Just had on. He had 60.15. Brett Cannon was fourth with 52.10. It starts to drop from here.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Wilson was fifth with 49.13. Cole Moore had Cole on. Cole was sixth with 49.10. Congratulations, Cole.
Cole caught at 11.98, I believe, on
really?
day 2.
Wow.
Had an 11.98.
Man.
His biggest fish he's ever caught, and man, that was a monster fish. He sent me a picture of it. Congrats, Cole. I know he won big bass overall in that event, 6 overall. So, congratulations to him.
Jeffrey Rice was seventh with 49.08. Jake Orman was eighth with 49.07. Cal Cameron was ninth with 49.04. And rounding out the top 10 was Jake York with 49 pounds even. Nick LeBrun finished 12th. In this event. Looking down the list here, Randy Deaver, also from Shreveport, finished 16th with 46.03.
What did it take to get a check?
Let's see here. Check. 55th place, Clay Phillips, which is actually Derek Mundy's partner. Clay finished 55th with 25.03.
25.03 for 2 days.
2 days. Yeah. And he had a 20-pound bag on the second day and 4 pounds on the first day.
Yeah. Day one, they struggled on day one. I don't know what happened day one. Day two, they caught them. That's Dakota had a 29-pound bag. The leader had a 28-pound bag. I know Derek had a big bag on that day. So they caught them on day 2. Day 3 was the Saturday that it was just brutal conditions.
Yep.
So I know they went through that as well.
Other names you'll recognize: Stephen Johnston was 50th in this event. He got a check. Our good friend Kevin Lasjum was 45th with 26 pounds, 13 ounces. And and one of the guys I think, Kevin, that you are affiliated with, or he's affiliated with V&M, Cameron Madison finished 20th with 43.07. Russell Cecil, another very popular angler, finished right behind Cameron, 21st, and with 40.02. So congratulations to all you guys. Sound like they had a great tournament.
Yeah.
Even the guys that didn't necessarily finish in the top 25 caught a lot of fish. I mean, so for 2 days, they caught basically 14 pounds a day. That's what it basically took to kind of get a check.
And most all of them guys will be right back on Sam Rayburn this weekend. Texas Team Trail is coming to Sam Rayburn this weekend, this Saturday. I know their first official practice day is Friday, I believe, and tournament is on Saturday. Then the very next weekend is Outlaw Team Series number 2 over there at Sam Rayburn. February 25th, 26th is the Federation Nation tournament right here in Red River for Louisiana Bass Federation Nation. And then kind of rounding out the month here, February 27th, the Lone Star Bass Trail Open Tournament over back on Sam Rayburn, kind of rounding out the month of February, the bigger tournaments that we follow.
Right, and also ABA Open Series, they canceled the Lake of the Pines tournament, but this is the second one coming up. They'll reschedule that one. February 19th is the ABA East Texas at Lake Palestine. And the other day, I think it was, what day was that, Kevin? Tuesday or Wednesday of last week? No, it was Thursday. Because it was starting to
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, the sleet and snow was coming across Palestine, and it was like 32 degrees over there, and here it was 51. And I thought, man, it's fixing to hit. So, so Palestine's probably had a little water temperature drop over there, And but those guys, it's a shallow body of water anyway, so they're going to probably have a good time over there. But looking at also the ABA Open Series, the solo 150s are coming up March 18th and 19th. Numbers are still coming up. Registration, go to ABA, AmericanBassAnglers.com. Give them a call. They'll let you in and get you all signed up for all three of those events. Also, the $75,000 Invitational Qualifier for Mr. Crappie Classic is right here in Natchitoches, Red River, April 22nd, 23rd, out of Grand Accor. Pools 3 and 4 only will be for this event. Chance to make it to the $300,000 Crappie Invitational will be held on Table Rock Lake in Branson, Missouri in October. And what a great time to go to Branson, Missouri in October. And I love fall fishing. Leaves are changing, Kevin. It's just a beautiful time of year to fish. And then last but not least, Kevin, Bass Cash Bash.
Get registered for Bass Cash Bash.
Sign up now.
Starts March 1st on Toledo Bend. It's going on right now at Sam Rayburn. You can look at the list of lakes that $100 sign up for all the lakes. Get registered for Bass Cash Bash.
Yep.
Don't be that guy. Miss out on a $1,500 tag just because you didn't register for $50.
And if you think it's not worth, even the pros that come to these tournaments are signing up for Bass Cash Bash, and some of them have won the last 2 years.
So I talked to Nick LeBrun yesterday. Nick caught a tag, and I didn't realize this. This is something Petey Vincent, owner of Bass Cash Bash, changed this year. So Nick caught a 2021 tag. You know,
right.
We tag him. He retags them every year.
Right.
So Nick caught a 2021 tag. Nick won $500.
Yeah, that's
for
right.
catching last year's tag.
That's what I've been emphasizing. There's so many tags out there right now, y'all, from the last 5 or 6 years that he's been doing this. Any one of those tags you catch is worth money, or sunglasses, or a new rod, or a new lose reel. I mean, you're going to get a really nice prize for turning in that tag. I don't care what year it was. And again, this year's are like a lime chartreuse green. So if you catch one of those, now I think last year was red.
Last year was red.
I think it was red. So, but anyway, it don't matter. If you catch a tag fish and it's got that Bass Cash Bash number on it, make sure you call, and I'm promising you, PD's going to give you something for it.
Yep.
All right, that's going to wrap us up. We appreciate you tuning us in. If you want to be a sponsor of this program, hey, we'd love to have you. Send us a message on our Facebook page. Kevin will make sure he gets you a packet out. We'll give you a call. Figure out what you want from us. How can we help you? We'd love to have you. We've got a great group of sponsors already, but we're always looking to add to that. So also check us out on Facebook, Spotify, Instagram. We've got podcasts. Our YouTube numbers are continuing to climb. Keep spreading the word. Make sure you click subscribe.
Got to get to that 1,000 subscribers. We got to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there.
We're close.
Almost there.
We're getting there. So spread the word. We really appreciate your help on that. And we look forward to next week. For Kevin Jean, I'm Steve Graff, our producer, James Stanfield. We appreciate you tuning us in. We'll see you next week right here on Tackle Talk Live.